Just a bad decision. There was a timeout ahead of it, too. They had time to think about it and decided to go for it. Our guys weren't sure whether they were just kind of going out there to get the timeout and then maybe come out and kick it after having some thoughts about it. But instead, they decided to go for it, and it doesn't go Kansas State's way as they fall 33-30 to the Texas Longhorns, who improve to 7-1. And 5-1 in the Big 12. All right, so Coach Carl Reed and Smoke Dixon going to join us for this conversation, but I'm going to start with you guys here. Lige, you were going nuts with that play call there, thinking that maybe they should have gone for the tie and live to play another few downs.
Maybe my guy DK can help me out, because we see this multiple times with quarterbacks on 4th down, right? DK, somebody has to be given an opportunity. What is going through a quarterback's mind when they start to backpedal in that situation and not throw it up and fall down like Will Howard did?
So I think he was trying to make a play. If you watch him, he kind of starts stumbling. Yeah. And, like, once you lose your balance,
it's over.
You're not athletic enough to get it up there. I would have been in the same boat. I had no problem when them deciding to go for it, especially the way the end of regulation kind of unfolded. Remember, they had it down there. They were 3rd and was short. And they went for it then, and then they had to settle for the field goal, and they missed it. And they were lucky to get back in that position to get to overtime. So you're feeling, hey, we're kind of playing with house money. Let's try to go for the upset. I didn't have any problem whatsoever. I do think it was one of those, you said, like, what was it? It was a broken play. I would say that's probably the best. They did motion out of it. They were trying to go for a look, and obviously it did not work. Sometimes the other team gets credit, too. You would have loved for Howard to have been able to at least get it in the vicinity of the end zone. But I do think he was stumbling, couldn't get enough on it.
Coach, go ahead, Jim.
Sorry, Coach, do you guys agree that? Do you agree with them going for it on 4th down, go for the win in this situation?
I definitely agree for them going for the win in that situation. They haven't had a consistent day in the kicking game. What I don't agree with is play design coming out of the timeout. When you come out of a timeout, week after practice, you should have a collection of 4th down plays that you feel very comfortable going with, and it doesn't look like they were prepared in that situation. And when you think about the missed field goal, when you think about a miscue on a PAT, those things came back to bite K-State, and that is not usual from a Chris Kleiman coach football team.
Well, when you look at it, you had 2 plays, and he had the same situation. Both the time they motioned out and went empty. The first one they ran the quarterback, got hit in the face. And then the most critical play of the game, you motion the fullback out to run a flat, but a fade in the end zone, and couldn't get that off. I just thought the head coach and the offensive coordinator just let these guys down in the most critical situation. Take a timeout and just regroup and run a proper play.
As it stands, Texas do end up getting the 33-30 win. They cover the 3 points, and the over manages to cash in this game. But looking at Texas's schedule moving forward here, Danny, I mean, this was a key win for them.
Absolutely, because it's going to get a little bit easier here on the back end. TCU's not the same team they were last year. Iowa State could be tricky. We'll find out a lot more about Iowa State today, and then Texas Tech's having a down year. They'll be favored, I would guess, by at least 10 points in every game and maybe more, and then they can kind of start regrouping and getting ready. But this was a huge avoidance of a disaster potentially for their national championship hopes, because with that loss they've already suffered. They didn't have room for another one. If they lost to Oklahoma, they have to avenge that.
Yeah, massive win for Texas. Missed opportunities from Kansas State because they also were in the Big 12 race as well. If they took care of business versus Texas, they could have potentially been in the Big 12 championship. I'm with you. That Iowa State, Rocco Beck, we'll see what happens with them in Kansas today. That could be a tricky game for Texas, but if Texas does what they're supposed to do, wins out, they'll be back in the Big 12 championship game. Question is, who will it be? Will it be Oklahoma? Will it be Oklahoma State? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Coach Smoke, do you guys agree that, I mean, Texas now in the driver's seat in terms of the Big 12 championship game?
Texas has an opportunity to close out well, win the Big 12 championship, or play in the championship game, I should say. Schedule's really light down the stretch, like you guys said. I think that Oklahoma wins tonight, and it's going to be a rematch of the Red River Shootout down there in the Big 12 championship. But Texas is in a favorable position right now after they escaped a really wild one today.
A good schedule to get healthy and get everybody back on track. Good situation to get them into a good situation to end up in the playoffs. But they scare me a little bit. They had the game in hand, and they just didn't have they didn't have the right formula to put it away. When a team can't put you away or put opponents away and leave you around for a while, an average team's going to beat you. And they got a couple of guys, but I think when they end up playing in the championship game, I think it's going to come back and bite them in the butt, not understanding how to put guys away.
Well, and we'll see what it means for them in terms of the college football playoff, sitting 7 coming into the week, getting the win this week. We'll see what happens on Tuesday night. Coach Carl Reed, Smoke Dixon joining us here on CBS Sports HQ alongside Danny Cannell and Leger Duzeville as we wrap up. Texas escaping the Kansas Wildcats in overtime, 33-30. They improve to 8-1 on the season and 5-1 in the Big 12 as they put themselves in the driver's seat heading towards the Big 12 title game. TCU up next for the Longhorns.